The past 6 months have generated a lot of stories and discussion about things Pope Francis has said, and it has been rather fascinating to watch. The last Pope, Pope Benedict XVI, or Emperor Palpatine as I like to call him, was very conservative, even for an organization as conservative as the Catholic Church. He was a champion of orthodoxy who loved pomp and circumstance and his outrageously flamboyant hats, while at the same time stating that getting rid of gay priests would solve the ongoing child sexual abuse scandals in the church. He was also involved in covering up the scandal before he became pope, and he presided over a period over which the Catholic Church's influence continued to wane, in part due to various other scandals and corruption, though he did seem to be popular with spiders. This year, Pope Francis was elected, and has definitely made some statements that have raised eyebrows with both the faithful and atheists alike. A few months ago, he seemed to indicate that atheists could go to heaven if they led a good life. But then the Vatican and other more traditional Catholic sources backpedaled faster than you could say Pope-mobile, clarifying that no, atheists could not go to heaven. It kind of made me wonder if being the Pope was kind of like being the president of Iran, and we just didn't realize it before because the other popes just towed the line with the strict traditionalists. Maybe it's the game of, oh, you can say anything you want as long as those with real power agree with it, but as soon as you step outside of those boundaries, we'll issue clarifications so that everyone knows what we decided you really meant to say. I get why the traditionalists wouldn't want atheists in heaven, though. I mean, after all, it dovetails with the rallying cry of prudes everywhere. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? The cow, of course, being the priests, and the milk being their love for the flock. Then a couple months later, Pope Francis seemed to indicate that being gay is no big deal, and who is he to judge that sort of thing anyway? Now, this statement was seized on by the media as being a viewpoint shift by the Church, but I know enough about the Church to understand that this is not a difference in Church teaching. They've always held the position that it's okay to be gay, as long as you never act on it, and therefore never act on any feelings of romantic love you have for the rest of your life. Not exactly a humanist position. I don't think that asking priests to be celibate is doing them any favors either, no matter who they would normally be into, as suppressing such a basic aspect of humanity has to come with intense pressure, and acting out against children of both sexes was, perhaps, just one tragic result. I'm glad that Francis's statement became a big deal, though, because it made traditionalists very uncomfortable, and it made them also spell out their views in ways that they would probably rather not have to. I want those types of people to be perpetually uncomfortable with their beliefs. I've heard some atheists say that the new Pope's down-to-earth style and kinder, gentler rhetoric is a bad thing, because they say he's fooling people. That may very well be true, and you can bet that I don't take a single word he says at face value, but when you look at how annoyed he's making some of the traditionalists in the Church, I'm not sure that can be all bad. His folksy style also takes a bit of the God's representative veneer off the papacy, and his emphasis on poverty and dialogue between the world's religious leaders seems like a good start. If people do join the Church thinking that it's all very equality and humanism based, that's going to spark discussion and dissent, and some of that will probably make its way to the top, or if it doesn't, it will simply result in even more disillusioned and vocal ex-Catholics, something which the Church also doesn't want. I won't care quite so much about the disease if it suddenly has fewer symptoms. The Catholic Church has a long history of bending toward the will of society, albeit very slowly, so while I definitely don't see Pope Francis as a humanist, he's certainly different from the last guy, and I see that as a good thing. I don't see anything that's going to stop the Church's slow decline in cultural relevance, and so if Francis can cause a decrease in the kinds of attitudes that infect the traditionalist side of their Church, then I applaud it. They will shift toward public opinion just like any organization that is really at its core both religious and political, and is much like a multinational corporation as a church, with bureaucrats, a board of directors, shareholder elections, and a CEO, just under different names. They lag way behind societal standards, of course, but they'll evolve more humanist attitudes or fade into obscurity. Either way is fine with me.